Alright, starting off this project, we are going to rip down a 6-foot, 6-inch fence picket, and we're going to rip it down to 2 inches, and I need 2 of those boards. And then I cut them with the miter saw at 5 inches, so I made 5 by 2 inch pieces. Then I put them on the router table, and I put a chamfer on one side of each one of those pieces. I also cut some birch plywood to make an 8 by 16 piece that I will be gluing and brad nailing these pieces to. I decided that I wanted one of those address signs that I've been seeing on Pinterest for years, and so I'm making myself one. And I'm using mostly cedar, and then I use birch plywood, and for the numbers I am using an elm board that I had bought from a local wood company near me. It's I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll put it down below, so that way if you're in like the Fort Collins area, you can Baldwin Hardwoods is where we got it from. So if you're in the Fort Collins area, you can go and find them and pick up some wood. They have all kinds of really good stuff. They have really good live edge pieces too, by the way. But anyways, here I am just putting the chamfer on. I forgot to film gluing and brad nailing them. My husband is taking off the excess pieces, and he did a fine job of it. I was a little nervous, and so I waited for him. I was like, help me. And so now I'm ripping down what was left of that cedar picket fence, and I'm going to create the border and the frame for my address sign. And I'm just using my miter saw to cut those. And what I did is I measured, and then I put it up against it to make sure that they were the right size. And voila, it was perfect. It was as perfect as it was gonna get. That's really the truth. This part is the frame. I did mitered corners because I love them. They're beautiful. The border around it to hide the plywood, I did not. I used a butt joint or whatever. I just put one up against the other. And I used glue and brad nails to attach them all. I did make a slight mistake while doing this. I forgot to stain the border and the frame before I attached them. So I had the fun job of staining them and then sanding off the stain from the herringbone pattern. It was so dumb. But anyways, it'll be fine. It looks great. It just was a little extra work that didn't need to be done. It was a nice, beautiful day. Nice and sunny. I really, really tried to make these these as perfect as possible. Mitered corners are tricky. If anybody has tricks to them, you can just leave it in the comments below, because it's nerve-wracking to try to get them perfect. You cut it and one might be too short or something, and you're just like, what happened? I didn't do that this time, thankfully. I actually did a pretty good job. I just kept measuring and and it worked out, so it was great. And also, whenever you're doing this, you definitely want to be using the same board, just in case the thickness is a little different. I was very blessed that this board was the right size to do all of this. I was so nervous. But it worked out, and I was able to put everything together, and it was beautiful, aside from my mistake of not staining them. But here I go, making that mistake. I was a step ahead of what I needed to be. And I'm using Type Bond 3, which is the wood that's safe to use for outdoors. It is a covered porch, but, you know, just in case, I want to make sure everything stays together pretty good. And I'm using 1 1/4 inch, excuse me, I'm so sorry. 1 1/4 inch brad nails, they're 18 gauge. I typically use those a lot. The stain that I'm using is by Minwax, and it's called True Black. I don't have to leave it on there for very long. It stains very quickly. So I'm cutting the numbers out with my long mill CNC machine, and I used V-Carve Pro to create a profile toolpath to do this, and I used a 1/8 inch end mill, a downcut end mill, and cut out my numbers, and they turned out beautiful, and this elm is gorgeous. So I'm very, very happy with it. Now I'm just staining those numbers. I had already sanded them and smoothed them out. I did use tabs, so I had to take the tabs off and sand them up real nice. And then I just stained the top of them. And I let that set. The elm didn't take to the stain quite as well as the cedar did. It still did a really good job, but I did have to put a little bit more on there. And the second coat did the trick, so it was all good. Then I used the cutout to the elm board that I had and made sure that I got them glued down straight and even, and then I used the brad nailer to nail them in to make sure that they were secure until they dried. Clean up your glue. Look how pretty. Sorry if you hear any background noise. My boys are home. So here I am just sealing this with the Cabot, I think it's like Australian oil or something like that, in natural, and it comes out really fast, so I had to soak some of that up with some foam brushes, and so I just went through and tried to soak up as much as I could. So pretty, so pretty. I'm very happy with this. I've wanted one of these for so long. And then I put some picture hanging stuff on the back. I got this kit from Amazon, and it has so many things. It has all the little sawtooth hangers and a whole bunch of screws. So I was very pleased with that kit. And so I used that to hang the sign. So I will say that I love our Milwaukee drill set. However, it is so difficult to get the stuff out of their little cases. Oh my goodness, I struggled and struggled. I was like, come out of there already, for goodness sake. I got needle nose pliers. Wiggled. Oh, it was a nightmare. But anyways, I love the drills. They're amazing. Make your marks. Make sure that they're all good to go. All right, here it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you are having a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.